Since we recently spoke about collocations in English, and I tend to teach English to people who primarily know Spanish, today we're going to briefly talk about the equivalent, but in Spanish. Now, surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, the equivalent has a very similar name, and in Spanish it's called Collocaciones. Now, for native speakers, maybe they might not be familiar with the term, but they are familiar with some examples. That's where we're going to review two of those examples. Normally, a native speaker in basically any language has a natural knowledge of the language based on their usage, and maybe not so much a technical knowledge of it. So it's normal for these kind of things to happen. Just as a reminder, a collocation was a combination of two or three words that maybe don't seem too normal to someone who is foreign to the language, but within the context of the language makes sense. One of these examples in Spanish could be amor incondicional, which in English you also have an equivalent. It would be unconditional love. So it's just kind of like switched around. And another example you can have in Spanish is abrir una herida or herida abierta, which in English also has an equivalent, which would be open wounds or to open a wound, right? Open being abrir and wound being herida.